Hello, Christina's World Kitchen. I'm Christina Martinez Williams, and I am going to make some strawberry marmalade cookies. Now, I just made my marmalade. I'm going to show it to you soon, and I'll tell you the ingredients. It's super simple. It's a jam, a strawberry jam, made with strawberries and chia seeds and sweetener that doesn't spike your blood sugar. And now I'm going to make the cookie dough part, and we're going to put them together and we're going to bake them, and it's going to be amazing. This is a cookie that is not overly sweet. However, you could make it more sweet if you want to. But this is the jam is sweet, so it's sweet, but it's not overly sweet. So you're going to really love this. It's super simple. The marmalade I just finished, and it's something, the marmalade, we're not going to use even close to all of it for this recipe, so you would have a lot left over if you chose to make it. Tell me where you're watching from. Thumbs up, hearts, share this video so that more people know in the world that they too can eat this way. Super simple, delicious, lots of flavor, lots of nutrients, and everything is amazing. Okay, so I have 3 tablespoons of melted butter. 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and I need to get my spatula in a second. So 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and then I have a 1/4 cup of sweetener, which is allulose and monk fruit. And allulose and monk fruit is the brand I use is Impact from Amazon. So a 1/4 cup of sweetener. You can use stevia, erythritol, monk fruit, allulose, any combination of those. Those are all not going to spike your blood sugar and will and taste great. But my favorite is for baking is allulose monk fruit. So I just want to get this mixed until it's nice and tasty. And which it is. And then I'm going to no longer use my whisk, and instead I'm going to use my spatula that I just used to make my jam. I'm getting off those pieces. I'm back. So I have this, and then I am going to add to this 1/2 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract. 1/2 teaspoon vanilla extract. Now, we have a couple of things going on right now that you should know, which is that we have a the reset is on sale for $99, the 5-day reset, which will break a plateau. It will accelerate your results. You'll burn some belly fat if you need to. You'll add some muscle. You will curb your appetite. You'll be able to have control of your appetite, more energy, more focus, better sleep, and be able to more easily do a 5-day intermittent fast. All right, here is now with the vanilla. Put reset in the comments if you want information about that. We're gonna do it on November 10th. This is a cup of almond flour. Now this is going to make our dough. This is kind of like a dough that you'll see we're gonna roll it out, and then we're gonna add our marmalade or our jam, and we're going to then roll it and then bake it. So you'll see in a second. So it doesn't look like it's gonna combine, but it will. You just gotta keep pushing and mixing the almond flour bits. And let me do this so you can see. We want to get it into a ball. So we want to get it well enough combined that it can combine into a ball. So you can see that it's getting better, closer. All right, now that it's there, I can combine it. So you can see that it's a little bit better and closer. So I'm gonna like push and combine it to be a ball. It's getting closer to being actual ball form. And I am going to put it here. So tell me where you're watching from. Make sure to heart, share, like this video because you're gonna want to make and save it. You're gonna wanna make it later. You're gonna wanna try it, and more people need to know. So tag someone as well. That would be a great way to share. If you've tried any of my recipes and you like them, or have liked any of them, please help me share with the world, Christina's World Kitchen, so that more people can find and see my recipes. Now, I'm going to use parchment paper to roll this out, and I'm going to roll it out with a rolling pin in between two pieces of parchment paper, and then I'm going to transfer it onto my baking sheet. And I have my oven already preheated to 350 degrees. So I'm going to move the camera so that you can see better, but I just plopped it down. Okay, let me move. Let me move you and change the angle so you can see it, I think. Let me move this stuff around. Let me change the angle. We are in Fort Washington, Maryland. I'm actually going to bring it together and kind of form it again, just so I make sure that it's all well combined into this dough ball. So beautiful, dough ball! All right, now it's ready to be rolled. My hands are officially moist with this, and now I'm going to put this on top. I'm going to push it down a little bit so that it can help me get it started, and then I'm going to roll it into a rectangle that is no wider than and no longer than my baking sheet. I'm using a big baking sheet, but I'm still going to be mindful of that, and I don't want it overly thick or overly thin. So I'm going to show you what I mean as we roll this out. So this is great to do at the same time as you're cooking your marmalade, because it takes 15 minutes to cook the marmalade, and then you do want it to chill a little bit, so just so that it's easier to put into here. And to do that takes some time, but if you use your time like this, and do this while you're chilling or while you're cooking your marmalade, it's a great use of your time. And then you're gonna have leftover marmalade for later use in other things, like in your crepes, or my crepes, like in my crackers, like in, on my crackers, like in a wrap, like an egg life wrap to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich wrap. Like in a, what else could you use it for? You can use it also in I have a recipe for empanadas that use it as the filling. All right, so, Kailea respondió. Yep. Nope. So Kailea's friend just responded, so she'll be able to respond soon. Now, I'm going to get this to where it is a rectangle as much as possible. And I might cut it a little bit. Hi, Rosalie from North Carolina. What's the weather like in North Carolina right now, Rosalie? Here, it is actually really warm. It's windy, but I think it's in the 70s. It did not start that way this morning. I think it was in the 40s. Or 50s, actually. I think last night it didn't get quite as cold as the week before. All right, so I want this to be, I'm going to show you now what it looks like.
Go into the part, that part is there.
I am making, Rosalie, I am making cookies that are going to use my strawberry marmalade or strawberry jam.
Okay.
Huh?
She's at the park. She's going to the park. That park. I don't remember.
Aquí?
Yeah.
Trenes?
Yeah. She said the park near your house.
Okay. All right, so sunny and warm. Awesome. I'm actually warm because I've been standing in front of this stove while my marmalade is cooking. So I'm going to take that off. Now, I think I just kind of showed you. Kylie was talking, I'm so sorry. She's trying to coordinate a play date with her friend. So it's pretty thin. I want it to still be thin, but I do want it to be more in a rectangle So I'm going to shape it a little bit by cutting it in the places that don't have as much, or like, so that I can use those places in others. So I'm going to make my rectangle, and then those pieces that are not quite a rectangle, I'm going to use on this side over here. Kind of like you're making, using like a cookie cutter. And then I can reform it over here so that it becomes a rectangle right over here. More closer at least. And then I'm going to do the same with this piece so that I can have, I want to be able to roll it, and I want to be able to put some marmalade on top of it. So my marmalade is getting cold right now in the freezer so that I could use it right away. So this isn't gonna be perfect. It's okay if it's not. I don't wanna take extra time to make it exact, but I do want it thin, and I do want it to be able to roll, and I do want it to, I wanna make sure that it can roll. It might be too thin. All right, now, I wanna make sure that I can, it's not gonna be like a pretty roll. Maybe if I made it a little bit thicker, it would be a little bit better. It's been a long time since I've made this recipe. All right. I'm gonna move this here, make this connected. Now, if you want to, you could put this in the fridge or the freezer actually for a few minutes so that it can get even more like firm. I'm just gonna rinse my hands, and we're gonna go grab this marmalade, add it to here, and start rolling it. Again, I'm a little bit wary on if it's gonna roll because it's a little thin. So I have my marmalade. We're not using this all, which is amazing. You get lots of extra. And this is strawberry marmalade. So this is made with chia seeds, sweetener, and strawberries. 3 cups of strawberry puree, 7 tablespoons of chia seeds, and 1/4 cup of sweetener. And I use allulose monk fruit. Now this is still pretty warm, especially on the bottom, but that's okay. And we're really not going to use a whole lot. You can see it's like steaming. It's been in the freezer. But we're going to just spread it on a small layer. So it's really not going to be that much. Now when it comes out, we can use it on the top, or you can just let it not be on the top. My original recipe for it is not on the top after you pull it out of the oven. I mean, you would want it to cool off, but it's just with it in the inside. But if you would like to, you could put it on the top. It could be another way to serve it, or serve it with some marmalade and people can put it on the side. I want it to be not very thick, but I don't want to go all the way to the sides because we're rolling it and it will squeeze. As it rolls, it's going to squeeze on the sides. So I'm going to do it to maybe like 1 inch from the side, and then leave 1 inch all the way around on all the borders. Leave 1 inch or so that it has room to squish out. All right, now for the rolling part. And I'm really like, look how much I have left. So what I like to do is put it in mason jars, and then I usually keep one in the fridge at a time, and the other ones go in the freezer, and then that way they don't go bad, and because there's no preservatives or anything, so that way they don't go bad, and then I can use it for crepes and for crackers, like my crackers. Oh my goodness, we have to try that real quick. My crackers that we tried the other day, or that we made the other day live. Let's see if I can find a little one. Here's a little one. would be great with this. Peanut butter on it too. It's good. Also with my regular crackers too. Also would be really good. Okay. Peanut butter and marmalade crackers. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start rolling this. And we're probably going to fold more than roll because the dough is a little bit fragile. And especially now that it has more heat on it. It's a little fragile. So I'm going to use this. I know you can't see the edge without you guys falling off the edge. I'm going to roll like this. And then I'm going to use this to roll to the next. Use my parchment paper to roll to the next. Use this to roll to the next. And I actually, because I'm doing it this way, I probably could have put some on the edges. I'm going to add a little bit on the edges because it is not squishing it out this way. So I'm going to add a little bit because right now the edges don't have anything in them, which is fine. It'll still be a nice little like shortbread-ish cookie. And then, there we go. Ooh. Be careful. So it is better to have it a little less thin so that it doesn't, right here, you can't see. Let me show you. It is breaking slightly right here, which is okay. But we do want it to not break. So now we're going to do it one more time. And there we have our log. Now you can see that on the edges, there's nothing in here. So that's okay, but I've learned, and now I will not do that in the future. I could put some on the top, or I could unroll this and put it in the inside. I might do that. Okay, there's that. And then this side has a little bit. And I'm going to put a little bit. All right, now the rest should be great. So you want to make them like an inch apart. And I'll show you a little bit closer. And it's okay, you can see just how, like on some of these, just how thin my layer was, which is okay. It's still going to be amazing. And here you can see. So good. So on to bake it. We are going to recover it with parchment paper so that it doesn't burn, because it's going to need to bake and cook. All those layers need to cook. So we don't want it to burn. And we're going to transfer it very carefully to our baking sheet. So I think I am going to do it from here. This feels really precarious. All right, let me see. That feels safe. There we go. Now we have it transferred and ready to bake. I used a lot of parchment paper. It's not necessary, but it is going to be perfect. So now it's ready to go. Bake it for 20 minutes. You do want it to be golden. You want it to be baked. So it's important that this parchment paper is there so that it can do that. And then you get to enjoy this amazing cookie with some marmalade. It is light in its sweetness and tastes amazing. And then you get all of this extra marmalade to use for so many different things. And you've got more than one recipe at once. All right, so have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will share those recipes, those other recipes later. This one's not ready yet. It's not written yet. Actually, I don't know if the other one, it might be. The empanadas might be written. I definitely have my crepes written. I'll share the recipes that are written already that can use marmalade. so that you can have those later. Have a wonderful day from my house to your kitchen. Global flavors and healthy plates from around the world. Bye!